everyone. Thank you all for having me here this morning, and also thank you to the Matriots for your endorsement. As Paula stated, my name is Sharetta Smith, and I'm running for mayor for the city of Lima. Just a little bit about me and my family. My roots in this community extends across 5 generations. My grandparents moved to Lima almost 80 years ago from the deep south to work in Lima steel mills. And so I grew up here in this city, surrounded by a community of what I call hardworking, caring people who taught me above all else that despite tough times, we should always believe that better days are ahead. 5 years ago, I was a magistrate judge in Chattanooga. I was practicing law and growing a practice as well. Two of my children were in college, but Chattanooga was not home. And as Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz once said, there's no place like home. And I began to look for an opportunity to come back and serve. And so I was reading the local newspaper one day and saw that the current director of community development was retiring from their position. And so I called our current mayor, Mayor David Berger, and introduced myself to him. I didn't know him. We met once at an event before, and I told him that I was interested in the job. And so I came here to work. He actually did not hire me as his director of community development. He asked me if I would be willing to come serve as his chief of staff. And so I've been here working for the city of Lima for almost 5 years, working side by side with Mayor Berger. What's that has looked like is managing our $38 million operating budget with another additional 30 million in enterprise funds. We have 7 departments, roughly 400 employees, and really working to build relationships and get things done with all of our stakeholders, including our council members and residents, and most importantly, serving the almost 38,000 people that call Lima home. A little over 120 days ago now, I launched a campaign to become Lima's next mayor. And as Paula said, Lima's first female mayor, and also Lima's first African American mayor, and Lima's first African American female mayor. So there's a lot of firsts in there. So the stakes are really high for this race. But I come to work every day with a deep understanding of this community and the people of this community. I am also the child of a union worker. My mother has worked at General Motors for 40 plus years. She's there this morning as well. I have a father that is also a retired union worker, but he's also a formerly incarcerated individual. And I watched him, go to prison, get out, and rebuild his life and work that same job until he retired. I've also been a young mom on public assistance. The whole time that I was going through college and law school, I worked my way through school, with my children while raising my children. I am a cancer survivor. And so I say that I'm a fighter, and I fought my way out of poverty and these other issues by my faith, my family, and even my friends. But that is also what fuels me to come back home and want to run for this office. Over the past few months that we've been knocking on doors, we've been really listening to the Lima residents about what they say their priorities are. And what I'm hearing here in Lima, which is no different than what I've heard you all say about your communities, is that people are concerned about what I call bread and butter issues. And if I had to sum it up, I would say that, they want safe streets, smarter kids, growing businesses, a strong economy, and thriving neighborhoods. And for me, that looks like, living wage jobs. That looks like being able to have those safety nets that are available to families when they do run into rough times. That looks like a responsive government that residents know when they call and they have an issue, there is someone that picks up the phone at City Hall that's not just going to take their complaint, but listen to their complaint and walk with them until that complaint is solved. The other thing about Lima is that 26.5% of our population lives in poverty, but the largest demographic of that poverty section are females aged 25 to 34. And also 40% of our households are single family households. And so and they're headed by women. And so when I look at Lima and I look at, you know, why I'm running and why I even do what I do as chief of staff, I'm fighting for people that honestly I see every day when I look in the mirror. And so that's what fuels me to want to keep going. And that is also my inspiration and passion for running.
Thank you, Sharetta. I think you've inspired us all.